Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back on the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today taking a look at a pretty special piece. It is the new exclusive Star Wars Celebration Japan slash Hasbro's Pulse exclusive, the Ronin and R5-D56 from Star Wars Visions, the very first season. I think it's the very first episode from the Duel. I like the concept of Star Wars Visions. It's pretty cool to see different imaginings and takes on the Star Wars universe from all these different studios, anime studios. So I think that's pretty cool. The Duel was definitely a standout one, fan favorite for a lot of people, and one of my favorites as well. And I think it's pretty cool that Black Series took a stab at one of the characters from the Visions and the main character from the Duel, which I think was a smart one to do. It's probably one of the most popular ones. I hope we see more figures from Visions. Mainly, I think it's from the Ninth Jedi, that Jedi who had the cool looking mask. That'd be such a dope figure to have in Black Series, because that was a really cool character, I thought. Anyways, I'm getting a little off track here. I don't usually show off packaging, but this one has a nice, cool, exclusive packaging, so I gotta show it off, and I really like it. When you feel this, it feels like, like a premium package. Like, I would definitely won't be throwing it out or anything like that. It's very premium feeling. You got the glossy Star Wars Black Series logo. I love the artwork here of the Ronin. You've got this little wrapper around the front around the box with this little paper string with the Ronin R5-D56. You've got, I assume that's the Ronin in Japanese, but I could be wrong. Extends on the back, on the side. Very cool. If we take this off, it does just slide off there. Put this off to the side for now. It does have magnets, and it does open up, and you get this whole like back mural, and then the figure really nicely featured in this big clear plastic box. You got the more standard looking Black Series. Really awesome artwork in the back here with the black, grays, and reds. There is a little write-up there, which is basically just a synopsis for the episode. But very cool display box. If you're a in-box collector, this is a really cool one to just display in the box. But I will be opening this, so I'm going to get this opened, and then we're going to take a closer look, because this is doing some new and cool stuff for the Black Series. All right, now I got the Ronin R5-D56 out of the packaging. It is nice to know that the figure is easy to take out of the packaging, and the packaging is luckily designed so that you can easily put them back in if you'd like. You'll obviously know if it has been opened or not, because there is tape you have to cut to get them out. But it's not too much of a hassle. It's not a bunch of ties or anything like that. It's meant for you to put it back in the box should you want to do that. So that's really awesome. I'm happy about that. But yeah, these figures are quite cool. They do some really interesting things, mainly the Ronin, but R5-D56 is pretty cool on his own. We will talk about him first, because he is, probably the one people are least interested in, but you do have to have the duo. He is his droid. But this guy, he's a cool little guy. He's got like the entire set, that mainly black and white, or like gray and white kind of paint design here. He's a reuse of the R2-D2 figure from the Mandalorian from the Black Series, which is technically a little inaccurate. He's supposed to be an R5 unit, but I kind of see why they just reused the R2. It's easier to get the hat on to the droid, and you're not going to see the top of the head anyways, because he's got the hat on. It is kind of funny. It's a droid wearing a straw hat, but the hat looks really nice. It's got some opening slits or whatever to see the little blue eye in there, which is a little hard to see. And I like the wash that's given on the hat. It's made of a softer plastic, so it shouldn't break or anything like that. But that looks really cool. And then the rest is just, astromech. He does have some weathering detailing, which is cool. That's weird. I don't know what that's going on there. Bits of gray around his feet. He does have these like ropes around his feet to kind of give him a more, add to the aesthetic. They're just loose pieces. You can remove them if you want. I'm not going to bother, because I like them on there. It makes them more unique to the other droids. But pretty cool. He's got the standard astromech articulation with the swivel at the dome. You have swivels at the shoulders and hinges at every foot. You can fold the third foot up. If you want it to go in all the way, you do have to remove the ropes from it, though. But you can do that if you want. No working wheels, though, just like the original one. But it's pretty cool. It looks nice. I like the hat. It's a cool little feature of him. does have the opening and gimmicks and bits that the R2 had. If I can get them out, you can open up these front bits here. So those open up if you want those to open up. So that's cool. Both, I think both side doors open up. This one opens up pretty easy. I say that, and now I can't do it. Yeah, this one opens up pretty easy and has the 3 holes for the slots of the different tools. Pretty sure this other one opens too. I need to get something that can get wedged in there though. I don't have, fingernails aren't super long to get in there. Jeez, this one's like, pretty sure this other, they are on the other R2, this one opens. Just a sec. Okay, I got it open. It was way more of a hassle than I expected to be, but it's just, again, 3 slots for the different accessories, which we can get into now. Fix his feet here. I think his leg, one of his legs is a little warped. Might have to take some heat to that. But you do get all of the tools that the R2 came with. So you have all these little bits. A couple of them here. A couple more here. Here, there's 6 of them, because there's also this little grabbing hand, and the grabbing hand actually has this like bamboo stick that he can hold. And I suppose the Ronin could hold this too if you want to. You can remove it from the hand if you want. But the R5 usually holds this, and that's cool. So you can just open up the little door here, slot the arm in, and then you have him holding the bamboo stick. I don't know why a droid would have to have a walking stick, but it is cool that you can do that. Another couple accessories is you do get the Revenge of the Sith style boosters for the sides of the legs. You can remove the effects from those if you want, and you can just take the sides off, put those on. I don't know if these are meant to go on a certain side or not. I don't think so. Although this almost makes it feel like it should. But that gets on there. You can put the effect back on. This doesn't like to go in all the way. I won't fool with it too much. But you can see you can put the thrusters on. Looks cool. Pretty cool. They include all these extra accessories and whatnot for R5-D5. It's definitely always appreciated. But that's pretty much it for him. Not too much else to go on about there. Nice little unique astromech that goes, a nice companion piece for the Ronin here. Probably a good idea. I don't know how well this would sell on its own. It is nice. He comes with all the accessories. You can, I don't know if I can get it. It's kind of annoying to get to open up. Just a sec. It's easier to do off camera. Jeez, it is tight. There we go. You can open up the head just like on the other R2 figures, and you can store the accessories inside of them there. So that's nice. Anyways, that's enough for him right now. Let's just put him off to the side, put these accessories off to the side. And we will now talk about the Ronin himself, who is very cool. He does a very, very cool thing. First, for the Black Series, he utilizes a soft goods wired cloak, which is very nice, and the wires are very sturdy. So you have 2 wires at the front of these little front strands, and then you have a wire that goes all the way down and all the way around the bottom of the main robe, and it's quite a sturdy wire. You can pretty much get it going any which way, and it looks pretty cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. I haven't really messed with it a whole lot yet, but as you can see, holds poses really, really well. That is a huge main feature of the exclusive here, and I think it turned out really well. I hope we see more of this from the Hasbro Black Series team with other figures, like maybe Darth Vader's and other characters with cloaks and capes and all that sort of jazz. He is in the overall black and gray and white sort of paint scheme, color style that he was, in the entire episode had this style. They are doing a standard mainline release that is going to have a more realistic coloring to it, and it's going to feature plastic robes with no wires, soft goods wires. So yeah, if you don't want to spend out for this one, you do still have an option to get the Ronin. The head sculpt looks really nice, and I think the face printing looks pretty good. The eyes look nice. He's got the little lines on his face. The cyber prosthetic chin going on there looks pretty good, although on one side my paint on mine missed the mark just a little bit on the other side there. The hair looks pretty good. It's nicely sculpted. They have it like it's kind of moving in the wind, and it does have a nice little like, black wash to it. I just kind of wish the figure came with a interchangeable head sculpt where maybe the hair was a little more at rest and maybe had a different expression on the go. I think that would have been cool, but otherwise it's a pretty good looking head sculpt. Very nice. The rest of the figure looks really good. The robes look good. All along the robes, you'll notice this nice black wash to bring out the sculpted detail, which I think looks really nice. And I love the sculpt and the tatterness around the wrists and the sleeves. I think looks really good as well. And you've got the white for the tunic underneath, which looks pretty nice too. But just a lot of nice sculpted detail of his robes and his clothing. The baggy pants with the sculpted lines look good. And then like the sandals, again with more of that black washing there, looks really great as well. And you got the sash with the soft plastic bits in the front there. Then you have his sheath, which I guess is technically a separate accessory because you can unpeg it and I guess remove it if you want. But it's nicely sculpted and it is functional. Show that off in a bit. He also has this other piece, which I thought maybe is a Shoto, but it has like, it looks like a trigger. So it might also be like a gun. I don't really know. It doesn't come out of it. Like you can unpeg it and you can hold it, but you can't actually unsheath it. So I don't actually know what that's supposed to be. I don't think he ever actually uses it in the show either. But it is still a cool detail nonetheless. And then not really much to say on the back. I actually didn't realize there was a tag back there. That's interesting. But I don't know why you tag that. Why would you tag that? Weird. It's just telling you how you can clean it, I guess. But yeah, there's the rest of the robe. I like the tatterness at the end. Looks good. But yeah, it's a good looking figure. Obviously, it's a pretty specific looking, style and design. It's going specifically for that design from the show. I do like that on the arms. I forgot to mention there is a little bit of silver paint there on the upper arms there. I like that. That's cool too. Nice, a bunch of nice little details. Silver on the belt buckle as well. But yeah, it looks pretty good. In terms of articulation, you do have a joint at the base of the head as well as the base of the neck. He looks down a decent amount, looks up just a bit. Rotation, a bit of pivot. You do have shoulder joints that go up about that far. There is pretty decent butterflies because the soft goods isn't going to hinder that. Swivel and hinge at the elbow with the elbow that bends past 90, which is nice because these are pretty large sleeved sculpted arms, so I'm glad the articulation didn't get too hindered by that. Really interesting joint is he actually has a forearm joint at the sleeve there that is a ball joint and moves around, and then you'd still get a swivel and a up and down hinge at the wrist as well. And I do believe this one also has the up and down wrist. Yeah, it does, so that's nice. There is a waist joint. It goes back not very far, crunches forward a bit. You do have rotation, although it does like to resist a bit. It's not as smooth as I like it to be. And then you do have decent pivot. Hip joints, they kick out pretty far. They go back a bit. I don't think he has drop down legs, no. But he does have the cutout around the ball joint, so you don't have a swivel, but you do have some rotation there. This guy likes to get unpegged pretty easily, but it won't fall out, so I guess that's nice. There is a swivel and a pretty large hinge at the the knee that goes a 90. There's a swivel at the shin there, calf there, and then you do have a hinge that goes up and down and rocker for ankle pivot. So pretty good articulation, not counting obviously the wires in the cloak. I have seen some people say that the figure is a tendency to break at the thigh piece here, so you're going to want to be careful and maybe make sure when you're bending the knee, you're not bending it from here, you're bending it from here. But otherwise, pretty good articulation. Not too much to complain about. In terms of accessories, this may be my biggest complaint, is that he doesn't come with much. R5 kind of got all the accessories when I didn't really care if he had that many accessories. You do have the scabbard sheath of the lightsaber, and you have his actual lightsaber. Of course, I like the very katana style hilt. Looks very nice. A little bit of silver paint. Nice red blade. That's obviously stands out very much among this figure. You can remove the blade. However, the whole shtick with his lightsaber is that it's busted and he can't disengage the blade. That's why he has the auxiliary to actually sheath it. So you can actually slot that into the in there, and it fits in perfectly. Looks great. I really like that. That's super cool. And then, of course, you can hold it. Be pretty pointless if you couldn't, but he holds it really well. Yeah, he unfortunately doesn't come with really much else. It would have been nice to at least have some interchangeable hands. I think that would have went a long way. And I think an interchangeable head sculpt with a different expression would have been super cool too, or some different hairstyle or something. For being, fairly expensive exclusive, I do feel he's lacking a bit in the accessory department, but, what are you going to do? Just going to try to get him into kind of a cool pose, just try to show off the soft goods a bit, maybe. The wires. That maybe kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with the wires. Obviously, this is quick and dirty. I'm not taking a whole lot of time to futz with it. I'm sure you can make it look even more dynamic and cooler. But that kind of gives you an idea. Very cool. I'm glad the wires turned out really well because they could have been kind of bad, but they're not. So that's great. But overall, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not much to compare with because he's pretty unique. So overall, I think this is a really cool set. It is, like I said, very unique, with the style of the paint that went in colors that went into this to recreate how it looked in the show or the episode. The articulation's great. The wired soft goods is a super cool thing that Hasbro's trying out with the Black Series, and I hope to see it's continued. I do wish it came with a bit more accessories. The packaging's really cool. I like that you can easily put the figure back in the packaging. It's overall a really solid set. It is pretty expensive. I think it could have been maybe a little cheaper, to be honest. It is quite expensive. But if it's something that you're interested in, I would definitely think this. I think it's one of the coolest exclusives they've done for the Black Series in a while. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend picking it up. But if you are interested in having the character, but you don't care so much about the soft goods, wired robe stuff, and maybe you want a more realistic coloring of it, there is a standard release, mainline release coming out at some point, so you can just wait for that. Get it for a much cheaper price. It won't be quite the same, but it'll still have the character. But that's kind of up to you. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.